In the year the city of Washoe was prospering in its era of cultivation, the bustling utopian city was at peace, until an unexpected creature descended causing chaos and destruction. The giant frog-like creature caught everyone off guard, and the citizens were terrified. Fortunately, the magic squad protectors of the city arrived on the scene to handle the situation. While they battled the monster, a carefree boy named Wang Ling roamed the city zoo. One of the members of the magic squad spotted him and saved him from danger. He then advised Wang Ling to go home and stay safe, while he rejoined the scene. Fast forward to the present day, when a statue of Zui stands at the entrance of the school in Washoe commemorating his heroic deed of defeating the giant frog and saving the city. Wang Ling, a freshman in high school, was being bullied by senior students for his lower force level. However, Sun Rong, a magician with a high force value, intervened and offered him help. Definitely Wang Ling embarrassed Sun Rong and left her alone. Later, a test to measure the freshman's force levels was announced using the incarnation of the giant frog. One by one, the students entered the arena to be assessed. Sun Rong came out with a score of which made the school cheer for her. Then it was Wang Ling's turn to take the test. Seeing him, the frog grew worried, and it was revealed that Wang Ling was the boy saved by Zui. Furthermore, he harbored an infinite force value that he had hidden. He was the one who defeated the giant frog in the past. With his turn to take the test, he came out defeating the frog with a score of infinity. The school looked on in amazement and doubt. After the test, the first class of summoning spells began. The students attempted to summon creatures, and Sun Wang summoned a skeletal beast. Wang Ling, on the other hand, summoned the frog itself. The teacher then turned the frog into a dog, and the class gathered around it. In the meantime, Wang and quietly left the class, leaving behind the memory of his incredible force value and his heroic past. In the world of Wang Ling, extraordinary abilities were not unusual. Even as a baby, he shocked his parents by birthing himself. As he grew up, he discovered he had the power of mind reading and would often use it to stop his parents from arguing. However, at the age of 6, he failed to control his powers, and his family decided to keep a low profile to avoid unwanted attention. Wang Ling's father devised a plan to help his son contain his powers. He applied cultivation technologies to amulets to help him control his abilities. Meanwhile, his mother made sure he took the golden pill regularly to suppress his powers. Wang Ling knew his parents were worried about him, so he tried to stay ordinary at school. However, when the class president election came around, he couldn't resist joining in. Sun Rong and Shinjo were both running for class president, with Sun Rong attempting to bribe students with gifts. Wang Ling decided to ask for votes for 5 packs of dry ramen, but Sun Rong tried to sway the vote in her favor with an incantation of seduction. As she turned around, she discovered that Wang Ling had left her the golden pill to balance out his bid. She took the pill without realizing its true purpose, causing her powers to drain. Later, during a lesson on the incantation of seduction, Wang Ling wondered if Sun Rong had accepted the golden pill, and if she was aware of its effects. He gestured to her, but she misunderstood and took the pill, causing her to fail when called upon to demonstrate in class. Afterward, Wang Ling's teacher talked to Jolie on the phone and described Wang Ling's capabilities at home. Sun Rong was frustrated over whether Wang Ling was a friend or a foe. The students of the class brought their furnaces for a pill refining lesson. Show brings a massive copper furnace to impress Sun Rong, but she walks past him and approaches Wang Ling instead. Wang Ling notices a crush spell on her and swiftly pops it, leaving her flustered. The instructor quickly explains how to begin pill refined assignment, and the students get to work. However, Chincha's furnace explodes, and Baheo shows off as the class is dismissed, and Frankie tries to eat Guo's furnace to evolve back into his demon form, but is caught by Wang Ling outside. Meanwhile, Shinjo runs laps and grows weak as a devil trance takes over him. He becomes insecure and furious over Sun Rong's liking of Wang Ling and stumbles off. Days Gohan catches Wang Ling with his furnace and demands an explanation. He shoots a purple liquid at him, but it lands in Chin Chao's mouth. Behind him, Chin Chao collapses, and they take him to the lab to cure him with an antidote. Before the class resumes, Froggy sneaks into the lab to swallow the furnace, but he is caught again. Wang Ling and Gohan learn about his power to control timelines, and use him to speed up the antidote process, and administer it to Qin Shao. Soon the instructor arrives, and Baheo attempts to stall her, but fails. She finds Goheo's perfect pill, and Wan Ling's failed. Goho grows soft, thinking that Wan Ling had swapped to save him. Later, they repaired Qin Shao's furnace, and a friendship blossomed between the three of them. Sun Rong asks Wan Ling out on a date, while Qin Shao sobs, unaware that she is the target of the Shadow Faction's assassins. The faction senses Wan Ling's powerful presence and attempts to take out their target. However, Wan Ling receives a call from his teacher, causing the assassins to leave. When they realize they have lost their target, news of Wan Ling and Sun Rong dating spreads rapidly on social media. Wan Ling is taken to see the joint honorary master, Immortal Zoe, who recognizes him as the gifted boy. Xiao Yi falls to his knees and calls Wan Ling master, after which Wan Ling performs his memory erasing spells. The next day, Froggy informs Wan Ling about the assassins, and Wan Ling wakes up from a nightmare of Sun Rong asking him out outside his house. Wai Ling finds Sun Rong waiting with bodyguards and limos, and encouraged by his parents, he leaves with Sun Rong for an amusement park owned by her family. Unbeknownst to them, the assassins have arrived at the park. Wan Ling obstructs the assassins while performing his memory erase trick on Sun Rong. Meanwhile, Joey watches from below and calls the magic squad. When he notices the assassins climb into the Ferris car with Wan Ling and Sun Rong. Sun Rong recognizes them and stands as a barrier to protect Wan Ling. Wan Ling impressively fends off the assassins, leaving Joey on his knees in amazement. He then performs his promise spell to lock the memories of the day as a secret in Sun Rong's memory rather than erasing them and sealing them away. One night, the leader of the Shadow Faction was furious and issued a shadow kill order for Sun Rong. The next day at school, Sun Rong catches up with Wan Ling, Shinshan, and Guo, and they are briefed by their teacher about the protection order for Sun Rong. Joey claims to have intercepted the assassins yesterday, as instructed by Wan Ling, and the school is put under tight security with bodyguards, security guards, and the 7-star squad. Despite the measures, 3 of the Shadow Faction assassins, Chu Feng, Xiaoying, and Xuxian, infiltrate the school and head towards the kids. Xu Feng is spotted on camera by Jody in the office, while the kids are too carefree and busy on their phones. Till Ying is intercepted by the teacher and trapped, while Shufeng is intercepted by Froggy, who sucks out his spiritual and life essence. Xian, the strongest of the assassins, prepares with his powerful hammer and invisibility inside the office. Meanwhile, Wan Ling gets a notification for his dry ram and delivery, and heads outside. He swiftly sees through Xian's invisibility, upon which T grows agitated and furiously decides to drop everything and attack Wan Ling. He strikes Wan Ling with all his force, but his hammer is useless against Wan Ling's infinite force. Xian's hammer cracks like a weak little egg against Wan Ling's head, and the assassination fails. Again, Zanjia runs out exclaiming the victory of his master, but Wan Ling once again erases his memory and instructs him that he's the one who defeated Xuxian. Sun Rong, Qin Shao, and Goho come out to find Wan Ling injured in Joya's arms. Wan Ling was at home pretending to be on sick leave inside a high-tech healing machine provided by Xiong Wang. While he was inside, Xiong Wang and the boys came to visit him and brought a chicken blood injection that would fuse Xiong Wang and Wai Ling's spiritual forces, helping Wan Ling to heal better. Shin Chao then reveal a spiritual testing wristband that was sent by their teacher for Wan Ling to take part in. Along with the others, Xiong Wang insisted on Wan Ling taking the injection before the test, but Wan Ling denied it, saying that he was feeling much better. Qin Shao explained that this test was different from the entrance assessment and measured the spiritual power connected outside of an individual's body, which was a true measure of cultivation force in another faction at the Shanghai school. Meanwhile, at the other school, students tested their spiritual forces, and Tong Jingjie scored a striking and led the top list of spiritual forces in the city. As the students cheered for him back at Wan Ling's house, Goheo and Xiongwang took their turn to test their spiritual forces. Guav scored a measly number, while Xiongwang scored A, and took second place despite placing his energy in outer space. However, Wanling was detected by the wristband, and ended up at the top of the list with a null score. At Song High School, the students noticed Wanling's score, and wondered if there was a bug in the system. Later, Wanling together with Gu Hao attempted to hack the Cultivation Council School League system, unaware that Tong Jingjet was also hacking in the hopes of finding out Wanling's score. Gohan recognized the arrogant Tan Jin, but ended up clumsily alerting the system alarm, and both hackers quickly exited. Tong Jingjae failed to find out Wanling's score. However, Gu Hao changed Tong Jingjae's name to Tong Birdie before leaving, which didn't sit well with him. After improving their scores, Song Rong and Wanling have raised their faction's average to the point where they are now eligible to compete against the Songhai faction's TH school in the upcoming sword fighting competition. Meanwhile, Tong Jingxi has been practicing at the arena, which is now known as Tong Birdie. During an interview, he challenges Wanling and Song Rong, claiming that he and his team are ready to give their rivals a run for their money. Miss Pan objects to allowing freshmen to participate in the competition, but Zhou Ji manages to charm her into letting them join. Froggy is also added to the team, making it a group of 5 with a score of 5,000. They surpass Tong Jinxi, who is once again humiliated after school. Wang Zi Kong, the teacher, creates a wet chat group to inform Chen Chao, Song Rong, Froga, Gu Hao, and Wang Ling of their selections for the competition. Excited and proud, the students shared pictures of their impressive swords in the group chat. Chen shows off his massive sword given to him by his father, while Gulheo proudly displays his son. Rong surprises everyone by revealing that she has multiple outstanding spirit swords. The group presses Wang Ling, asking if he has a sword of his own, to which he unimpressively replies with a simple yes. Back at Xian High School, Tong Jingjiang is determined to beat the faction of participants, and suggests including a mysterious and supposedly powerful man named Hibu Fong in their team. Hai Du Fong beats up the students assigned to call them for the competition, but is left curious and wondering why they need him to compete. Wan Lang contemplates whether he could use his powers in the upcoming sword fighting competition against the Songhai faction. He searches for a sword and goes to his parents, who are too busy watching TV to help. Suddenly, breaking news reports an explosion at the Shadow faction's headquarters, which is being cleared by the immortals. Wang Lang climbs to the attic to retrieve his spirit sword, a little boy, but as the sword awakens, his force suppression talisman is weakened. The next day, the students and teachers gather to leave for faction. Wang Lang brings his tiny sword and is laughed at by the other students. He secretly plans to play sick and quit once they arrive. However, Joy is informed of an issue and arrives at the news of the immortals capturing the boss of the Shadow faction, but it turns out to be a decoy, and the real boss chuckles in her car, satisfied that she has removed the impediment between herself and her target. She follows the students to faction on the bus. Wailing spirit sword awakens, and he bribes him with dry ramen to stay low. Upon arrival, the students are received coldly by faction S team and their teacher Miss Jie, who also has a rivalry with Miss Ban. Evaluates Wang Ling's force value with a trick. The trick triggers Wang Ling's talisman of force suppression, causing a huge blast. Wang Ling fails, and Xian rushes to cradle him, while Tong Jingxi wonders if it's Haibu Feng's work. Meanwhile, Axio, he has nullified the Shadow boss's blast, and as well, she receives news of her failure. But after witnessing Some Rong's affection for Wang Ling, she leaves with a new plan in mind. Some Rong then follows Wang Ling, who has been carried inside on a stretcher, but they are stopped by Tong Jinsai. This leads to a taunting tussle between the two teams, and Tong Jingxi mockingly guarantees Wang Ling's care. However, things take a strange turn when Wang Ling mysteriously bursts into purple flames. Michi quickly reacts and extinguishes the flames with bandages. Sun Rong draws out her sword, but their teacher Wang Zhukong interferes, and Michi also disciplines her students. Later on, Haibu Fong witnesses the scene at the infirmary, and the medic finds an empty shroud of bandages while Lang has escaped, and informs his father about the talisman, who rushes to his aid. they decide to meet outside, and the students arrive at the competition area where Haibu Fang appears and offers Sun Rong to join them as their fifth member. With a rose, however, Sun Rong denies the offer. Chen Zhao attacks after seeing Haibu Fang in noise and wrong, but Haibu Fang retaliates and annihilates Chen Zhao's arm with his powerful negative force. In an attempt to get outside faction, Wang Ling enters the arena just in time to save Chen Zhao, but he ignores Haibu Fang. Enraging him, Haibu Fang punches Wang Ling only to find him void of any force, but he is surprised when Wang Ling swiftly takes his rose and passes it to Sun Rong, unknown to the other students. Meanwhile, the Shadow Boss hangs from the arena ceiling watching somewhere. Zhou Yi realizes the Shadow Boss's location and rushes to faction. Haibu Feng finds the Shadow Boss and tries to charm her, but upon turning him down, he calls her old. Haijufeng soon regrets his actions. Wang Ling, who has excused himself from the team to go get his ramen delivery outside, walks into Haibu Fang. Being beaten by the Shadow Boss, the Shadow Boss kidnaps Wang Ling and Haibu Fang, leaving everyone else stunned and uncertain of what will happen next. The Shadow Boss assigned her driver to guard them, then stomps on Wang Ling's head, provoking his negative energy and compromising his talisman. However, the little sword boy distracts Wang Lang by reminding him of a dry ramen discount. Meanwhile, the boss plans to lure Sun Rong out by using Wang Ling as bait and disguises herself as Haibu Fang to tell the others that Wang Ling has been kidnapped. Haibu Fang tries to butter his way to freedom, but underestimates the powerful spirit of the infantry, who brings the news that the attractive Shadow Boss is the kidnapper. Upon hearing this, Team LED by Sun Rong and her guards leaves to rescue Wang Ling. Maichi advises her students to observe them in a real battle before the competition, while Tong Jing's he doubts Haibu Fang's decoy status. Soon Sun Rong and her guards arrive to engage in combat with the driver, but Haibu Fang is stomping on the floor below. Sun Rong rises to face off with the driver alone, but is overpowered by the golden cavalry. Just as Sun Rong is about to be defeated, Wang Ling turns back time and takes care of the driver, with Xieli already present to take credit for helping with the competition being called off. Wang Ling leaves the real Haibu Fang under the care of his sword spirit. However, the Shadow Boss joins the S team as Haibu Fang on the day of the competition. As teams entered the arena, Wang Ling's father finally arrived, but it was too late. He is received by Zayli, who informs him about the broken talisman. It's revealed at the start that Wang Ling's talisman blocks both his force and emotions during the competition. Isabel's hacking skills LED to land together at the altar of Earth. She also manages to locate everyone except for Wang Ling, who lands in the same area as them, but is eliminated by Tong Jinsi. However, Wang Ling survives due to the substitute dolls that give him life. Team then splits up to combat team. While capturing the altar of Earth, Haibu Fang lands near Froggy and captures the altar of Fire, while Gubo follows Liang Fi, who is heading to eliminate Wang Ling at the altar of Wood. At the altar of Metal, Chen Xiao loses to Isabel, who deploys a nervous system interfering spell, making him hurt himself. She then seizes the altar, and the announcement of team seizure is heard across the arena. Meanwhile, at the altar of Water, Tong Jing's intercepts Sun Rong and is joined by Haibu Fang. It is revealed that the Tong and Sun families have had rivalries with each other. Tong Jing's uses his snow-blowing trick and successfully obstructs Sun Rong's efforts to battle, but before Sun Rong is defeated, a loud blow is heard and Liang Fi shoots across the sky and gets eliminated. The huge impact causes the ice to break and Sun Rong escapes. Team is now one man down. Tong Jing seizes the altar of Water and tells Haibu Fang that he doesn't know who he is, but if he supports him, he'll help him get whatever he wants after the competition. Upon capturing a fifth altar, team is awarded a speed-up bonus, but it halts as the announcement of their capture of the altar of Wood makes its way into Xiong Wang's earpiece. Gohan announces that Wang Ling has merged with Froggy at the altar of Wood. As the competition progresses, tensions rise between Gohan and Wan Lang. Goheo engages in a battle with Liang Fi using his mouth cannon spell. Meanwhile, Wang Ling oddly sits by and does nothing. Gohan starts flinging insults toward Wang Ling, triggering his emotions as Wang Ling loses control of his force. Negative energy erupts, and Froggy bites him to devour his energy, but instead Froggy merges with him, creating a spirit being that's insanely powerful. Wang Ling then slightly touches Liang Fi, sending him flying and getting him eliminated. The members of Team panic as they realize they underestimated Wang Ling. However, Tong Jinxi devises a plan to avoid Wang Ling and keep watch over the altars. While rotating, he deduces that since they'd lost a member, they'd lose altars if they moved to combat Team, and would ultimately succumb to Wang Ling. Meanwhile, Goha and Wang Ling unite to seize the altar of metal. Realizing that Wang Ling has flipped the game, Xin Xiao hugs Wang Ling, spreading a smile across his face, and Wang Ling's father tears up seeing his son smile for the first time. However, Team quickly retrieves the altar and flips the score back to Sun Rong. Drops in and decides to put down a plan to combat Team and their strategy. Wang Ling realizes he can't win the game alone with brute force, so Sun Rong together with Goha controls the waters and distracts Liang Zhan attempting to take the altar of fire. Meanwhile, Wang Ling reaches the altar of water and seizes it at the altar of earth. Fake Haibu Fang chuckles as he remembers his promise to make Team win and sets off to act. As Hibu Fang approaches, Qin Chao guards the metal altar. They clash again at the altar of fire, while Gu Hao and Sun Rong battle Liang Zhan for seizure. Gohan throws a mouth cannon, but Liang Jiang trips and causes the cannon to miss and hit Sun Rong, who is trying to seize the altar. At this moment, Tong Jingzai arrives and sees Tong Jingzai. Sun Rong is reminded of their family rivalry and refuses to lose. She tries to land a sword on the altar but fails because she needs to hold it to seize it. Tong Jingzai mocks Sun Rong over Team's dire situation, and he sends Isabel to keep an eye on Wang Ling at the altar of water. At the altar of metal, Qin Xiu does his best to avoid Haide Fang's blows. As advised by Sun Wang, he falls weak and desperately tries to stop Haide Fang. Goheo sees the sensitivity of the situation and decides to unleash his sword's power. Suanrong's sword spirit also combines with Goheo's sword spirit, creating two powerful spirits. The mighty armed spirit helps Qin Chao suppress Haide Fang, while the fire phoenix spirit blows Tong Jingzai and Liang Zheng off, giving Sun Rong victory. Tong Jingzai realizes that Sun Rong is no longer an insecure girl, as the announcement is made of Team taking the altar of fire. Surprisingly, at the same time, the announcement is made of Team taking the altar of wood from Team. Team is nearing victory, and Shinjo, who is losing to a Foundation student, has finally broken through her disguise. Enraged, Sun Rong's plan was the key to Team's victory. She instructed Wang Ling to separate from Froggy and float over to the altar of wood, while Froggy remained at the altar of water. In Wang Ling's disguise, Isabel was keeping a watch, and sensing the obvious victory, Gu Hao headed to Qin Chao at the altar of metal, while Sun Ron headed toward Wang Ling at the altar of wood. Wang Ling was on the brink of losing control of his negative energy, but Froggy sensed the urgency and headed towards him. Despite being desensitized to the world from a young age, Sun Rong's light and the guy's company revived Wang Ling's emotions, and he developed feelings for Sun Rong. Just as he was about to give up, Sun Rong appeared, and they seized the altar together. Meanwhile, Goheo found Qin Chao seriously injured, and an uproar broke out among the teachers questioning student protection. Suddenly, the shadow boss emerged from behind Sun Rong and knocked the soul out of her body. This was the last straw for Wang Ling. Froggy arrived in time and froze time to stop Wang Ling from erupting, but he broke through and went all maniac on the shadow boss, continuing his onslaught. Just as he was about to kill her, he remembered Sun Rong and regained consciousness, leaving the boss begging for death. Froggy explained that Sun Rong was warm and breathing because he had stopped time. If time flows, Sun Rong will pass away, and it's impossible to bring her back. Wang Ling warns over Sun Rong and decides to restart the world for the sake of saving her. Weiling had already restarted the world 4 times, but nothing seemed to change the events leading to Sun Rong's death. In desperation, Wang Ling turns to Froggy, who reveals his power to control time. Wang Ling begs Froggy to turn back time, But this would require a massive spiritual force. Undeterred, Wang Ling merges with Froggy too. And they turn back time. When Wang Ling wakes up, he finds himself on his first day of school. Everything seems familiar, but he experiences visions of Sun Rong and moments of deja vu that confuse him. It turns out that the merged forces of Wang Ling and Froggy have created a new world that is slowly destroying the old one. Meanwhile, Sun Rong has entered the underworld, and the god of the underworld realizes the destruction that the world will face. He decides to send Sun Rong back to the land of the living, and she is revived. Long Ling's spirit sword explains everything to Sun Rong, and they decide to destroy the new world to save the old one. In the new world, Wang Ling goes to heavenly paradise, but he feels overwhelmingly empty. As Sun Rong makes cracks in his world, he suddenly remembers her, and she manages to destroy his world and wake him up. They are reunited, and time turns back, bringing everyone back into the games. This time Wang Ling knocks out the shadow boss before things spiral out. A control faction rejoices in victory, and Sun Rong as well. She runs over to Wang Ling, but they are stopped by the interviewers. Wang Ling's father finally arrives with the talisman, but he has to make a choice. He can accept the talisman and go back to having dormant emotions, or he can have a relationship with Sun Rong. He chooses